How did I take thrift store lace to make this amazing veil? Well, guess what? I'm going to show you how to do this from start to finish. Hi, I'm Dorene I'm bridal milliner. I'm sharing 30 plus years of my experience, and one of them is how to take vintage lace and other thrift store finds and to make beautiful, amazing, high-end quality veils with it. All your supplies are going to be in the description below, so let's just dive in and let's explore how to use thrift store lace to make a veil. To start my little thrift store lace veil, I have that lace that I got from the bag, and it's just adorable little, it's like a Venetian style lace. Incredible quality. I feel so blessed. This right here alone would probably cost maybe 40 bucks. So to just think I got the entire bag for $6 was amazing. I have a 42-inch cut edge veil, and you can check out the tutorial, the cut edge veil, to know how to cut the veil to get ready for this tutorial. All right, I'm going to start up at this top. I already trimmed it. So essentially I just cut off as much as I can just so that there's less in that gather up here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to sew the lace so that I will be sewing on top of here all the way around, because I'm going to want the netting to be behind it. It'll lay it flatter and it won't get all kind of jiggy jag. The first way I'm going to go is down this scallop. This is just standard polyester thread, and I'm going to do for 3-inch 3 width. And let's get that first stitch locked. Now the first is always the hardest, so you just kind of go with the flow here and hold it gently, gently, never pull. And then turn, and when you're doing lace, you just kind of do a lot of pivoting on your needle, keeping this nice and flat. And so if we didn't do the technique I'm going to show you, this will happen a lot with your edge, and we don't want that. So we will be stopping that flip. I've reached the end, and again I have that little area cut off so that it's easy for the gather. I'm going to finish that up and I'll show you the next step. Alright, we're going to go all the way back to the other end. I hope you find a lace that's just this beautiful, but this technique is great for any scallop lace. What I'm going to do now is follow this line, and the key will be to keeping this flat so that that netting underneath is caught. And if you're wondering how that looks from the back, it looks great. Everything's looking good. Just make sure that netting is flat underneath and not jumbled up. All right, I'm going to finish that up, and then I'll show you the third sewing on that one. I finished that up, and I'll show you the next run that I'm going to do. And the only reason I'm doing this is I really want that scallop to lay flat. I'm going to be embellishing it also with some pearls and whatnot. So this will be a labor of love, but in the end, it's going to be amazing. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to follow the line of these scallops all the way around. All right, you get the idea. See how much flatter that is? It's going to lay really nice. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the next technique, and then I'm going to embellish it. Stay tuned. It's going to get more beautiful by the moment. The next step, now that I finished sewing it and I actually ironed it a little bit, get it all ready for our next step, is to trim off that excess that we did. So right here, you'll notice that the edge of the illusion is a little bit past those scallops, and I did that intentionally. There's kind of two reasons. One, it will keep this line flat, and the other is I'm going to embellish them with tiny little crystals, and this will give me a little fabric underneath there to do so. Just a little crystal here, and I'll show you how to do that here in a sec. That way there's a lot of interest and sparkle. I mean, it's beautiful just the way it is, and it can be left that way, but I want to bump it up even further. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, similar to how I do my ribbon, I'm just going to go up against the edge of that scallop, going under it because I sewed under it, and just cut off that excess just like that. And I usually do this in my lap, and I will just sit there, listen to a book on the Audible, or call my beautiful daughter and we'll chit chat, because this is kind of mindless and you just go around and around and around. You don't really think about it. It's just a slow process. And I use these kind of scissors because it makes it so much easier. I highly recommend this versus your standard scissors. Now that's cleaned up. Now I'm going to do that all the way down the edge, but right now I thought I would show you how I'm going to embellish. So I really saw in my mind having at the tip of each of the scallops one of these pearls, and I just think that would add a really nice decadent aspect. I'm going to go ahead and just take my fabric glue. I use fabric tack, and I just put a little dollop of glue there too. And I'm using my glue board because if I am having to, like this little edge was up a little bit, I can glue it down on the glue board and not hurt my surface. If it does get on your surfaces, don't worry, you just can use rubbing alcohol. And then we're going to go like that. Now to mimic, because you're going to see the other side, I just want to fake the eye a little bit. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. That way, when the bride is walking up towards the groom, there's still a little bit of interest, and it looks kind of like it fakes the eye a little bit, and it gives that lace kind of a 3D effect. All right, the next thing I would like to do is I'm going to just put little crystals on the bottom, and because I'm going to double side, I'm going to put one down face, and it's right there, so it's face down. And now I'm going to put a little dollop of glue, and I'm going to put this on here, face side up, and there you go. Isn't that pretty? And on the other side as well, just to kind of fake the eye. Again, I just landed under there and put that glue right on top of the flat back side. And I just use flat back rhinestones I got over at the craft store. You can get them online as well. And these are a 6SS size. And when I'm doing this, I always have my fingers like that, because when I'm doing this, I'm holding it tight, and then the crystals don't roll around while I'm trying to glue them. All right, so I'm going to keep doing that. I'll do one more scallop just to kind of get the big picture. And then right here, instead of a crystal, we can put a smaller little pearl and so forth. Isn't that pretty? You could, if you wanted to even do more, just look at your lace and see what your lace is telling you. Just follow it. Follow the curves, follow the style, look at your gown. All these things are little elements that you can put into your veil. And this is a great place where you could stick a little color too, like if you had pink crystals. What a lovely idea, huh? Pink crystals all the way around. There's golden shadow crystals from Swarovski. Those are stunning. It gives you an idea of how to embellish your lace and to give it even more personality. Isn't that great? All right, I'm going to finish this up. It's going to take me about a half hour to do that. And then I'm going to show you how to put it on a comb. It's going to be a little different comb placement, and then we'll go from there. I have the edge all done, and it did take me about an hour, all the different embellishments that I put on it. But man, did it ever just bump that up and make it so much more opulent. It's just so beautiful. And now I've reached the comb, and I gathered, and if you want to learn how to gather, I use fishing line. You can go to Let's Gather Together, and it'll show you how I gathered to put on the comb. Now I was testing it out on my head just to kind of see how this was going to lay, and it kind of laid a little strange. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut these 3 off, and then it will lay a little better on the head, on the side of the head. So we are the master of the lace. We can do that, cut it off, and be done with it. All right, so that'll lay a little better up on the top of the head. What was happening was it's kind of flinging out. And that's the fun part. When you get a lace you'd never used before, you don't really know until you dive in and start doing it. And that's what I found. I just found, this is better just to cut these off, and that's it. Now it'll lay better on the head. And now we're going to do a hidden comb. And the reason I want to do a hidden comb with you, I have a whole playlist called Put a Comb on It. But this one being lace, I wanted to show you how to put it on so that you know how to flip it correctly. Now there is a front and a back. So the front of the lace, we're going to call this the front, and the back of the veil. What you're going to do so that you make sure that this is going to flip in the right direction is you're going to put your comb this way on the back side. So the arch is coming this way. So when it flips, it will go into the head this way. And that way the lace, the front is this direction. It's a little bit of gymnastics in the head, but just remember the arch is going to be this way towards the back, and then you'll flip. All right. And I'm going to glue that in. First thing I do is glue. And because I leave it on the fishing line, it's going to be a little bit longer, and I can just push it down to the size I need. Just such a great little trick I learned years ago. I don't even know how to gather without a fishing line anymore. It's so hard. It makes it so much easier. My thread doesn't break. I have flexibility. I can change the comb size. Little tips like that can change your little life. All right, now that I have that on there, I'm going to just take some invisible thread, and I'm going to do a whip stitch all the way around. All right, I've got it all sewn in. I'm going to now cut off the fishing line, and let's see how that looks. This is going to be underneath the bride's head, and if all goes well, this should just land all right. Now I'm going to finish that final piece off, and then I finish it all the way around with some ribbon. If you love lace veils, or you're looking for more lace veil ideas, I have a whole playlist called Let's Get Lacy, and you can check that out right here. And it's going to just show you how to do a mantilla, lace applique, all different kinds of lace veils are in there, and I hope you have a good time. Thanks for dropping in. in. It's been fun making this little thrift store lace find, and now I can't wait to find my next one. See you later, veil makers.